Have you ever noticed how some people seem to age with such grace, radiating confidence and vitality, while others struggle with the visible signs of growing older? It's a fascinating observation, and if you've ever wondered why that happens, I have some interesting insights for you. What if I told you that the secret often lies in the small, subtle habits that we might not even realize are influencing how we are perceived as we age? It's not just about looking younger, though many of us do wish for that. It's about maintaining a vibrant, energetic presence that allows us to feel respected, confident, and deeply connected to those around us. In this video, we're going to dive deep into 6 habits that, whether we know it or not, can make us seem older or more disengaged than we are. These habits go far beyond our physical appearance. They're intimately tied to how we communicate with others, how we present ourselves in social settings, and even how we nurture the relationships that are most important to us. But here's the good news. These habits aren't set in stone. With a few simple adjustments, you can start to shift these small actions and significantly improve how you look and feel as you age. And the best part? These changes are easier to make than you might think. By the end of this video, you'll have a clearer understanding of how important personal grooming, communication habits, posture, and even your clothing choices are to your overall energy, confidence, and how people respond to you. You'll also walk away with actionable tips that you can start implementing today to boost your confidence and ensure that you're always making the best possible impression as you age. So, stick with me until the very end of this video. Whether your goal is to feel more vibrant, look sharper, or simply improve how you are perceived by others, the valuable insights and practical advice I'm about to share will help you age with grace, dignity, and style. But before we get started, if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and click that subscribe button and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. Your support truly means a lot to me, and if you find this video helpful, I would love it if you could share it with others. If you enjoy the content, don't forget to hit that like button, as it helps me continue creating videos that offer these valuable lessons. If you're into topics like this, I would love for you to comment 1 below. Let me know if you're enjoying this type of content. But if it's not your cup of tea, feel free to comment 0, and tell me how I can improve to bring you even better videos in the future. Now, let's dive in. Number 1. Neglecting personal grooming. Personal grooming is one of those things that people tend to notice right away, even if they don't always say anything. But when it slips, it can have an impact on how we're perceived by others. As we age, it becomes all too easy to overlook those small details that used to be second nature. Things like trimming our nails, keeping our hair neat, and ensuring that our clothes are fresh, clean, and fit well. It's understandable. Life gets busy, and priorities shift. However, here's the catch. These seemingly small things can add up over time and make us appear older, more fatigued, or even less approachable to others. This is particularly true when we stop paying attention to how we present ourselves in day-to-day life. Take, for example, someone like Walter Andrews, an 82-year-old man who had always been known for his sharp appearance. Walter was the kind of guy who always took care to dress well and keep himself looking put together, and people noticed that about him. But, over the years, Walter found himself letting go of some of those small grooming habits. He stopped trimming his eyebrows, his hair grew unruly, and he started wearing the same old shirt every day. The changes were subtle at first, but soon it was clear to those around him. His family noticed, his neighbors noticed, but no one said a word, thinking it was just a phase or maybe something Walter didn't care about anymore. It wasn't until one day when Walter looked in the mirror and was taken aback by how much he had changed. His appearance had become a reflection of how little care he had been putting into himself, and it wasn't just about vanity, it was about how others were starting to view him. He decided it was time for a change. Walter got a fresh haircut, shaved his face, and updated his wardrobe. The transformation wasn't drastic, but it made a huge difference. Almost immediately, Walter noticed a shift in how people responded to him. He felt better about himself, stood taller, and perhaps most importantly, people seemed to engage with him more positively. The thing is, neglecting personal grooming isn't just about looking good on the outside. It's about the energy you radiate and the confidence you project to those around you. Studies have shown that when people feel well-groomed, they tend to carry themselves differently. They're more engaged and vibrant, and it shows in how others perceive them. When we neglect grooming, whether it's unkempt hair, overgrown nails, or even ignoring skincare, it can make us appear older, more withdrawn, and less confident than we are. Here's a simple tip. A little goes a long way. Basic things like using a moisturizer to prevent dry skin or applying lip balm to keep your lips smooth can make a noticeable difference. And if you have facial hair, keeping it well trimmed is an easy way to instantly look more polished and put together. You don't have to spend hours on your appearance. Just paying a little extra attention to these details can go a long way toward helping you look and feel healthier, more confident, and ready to make the best impression possible. Number 2. Talking too loudly or interrupting conversations. As we age, communication often shifts in ways we don't even realize. One common, but often unspoken issue, is a change in how we speak to others. Many older adults find that they start speaking much louder than they used to. They might even find themselves interrupting others or dominating conversations without meaning to. This typically happens because of gradual hearing loss, which makes it harder to gauge how loudly we're speaking. The tricky part? Most people won't say anything about it. It's one of those things that people just tolerate, even if they notice it. But the impact is real. Imagine someone like George Miller, a 77-year-old man who was known for his warm, outgoing nature and loved socializing with his friends and family. Over time, George started speaking louder and more forcefully, without realizing it. Sometimes, he would interrupt others mid-sentence, oblivious to the fact that his voice had gotten a bit overpowering. At first, no one said anything. His family noticed, his friends noticed, but no one wanted to embarrass him. It wasn't until one evening at a dinner gathering, when George noticed people seemed to pull back a little when he spoke, that the reality hit him. He felt it, the subtle shift in how people were responding to him. That's when it dawned on him. His voice had gotten louder than he thought. After getting his hearing checked and realizing that his hearing had diminished somewhat over time, George made a conscious effort to lower his volume. What happened next was eye-opening. Conversations started to flow more smoothly, and people seemed more comfortable when he spoke. The truth is, hearing loss often occurs gradually, and it can be easy to overlook how it impacts our speech patterns. We don't always realize that talking over others, interrupting frequently, or raising our voices too much can come across as overbearing or dismissive to others. Conversations should feel like an exchange of ideas, not a competition to be heard. So, what can you do about it? First, pay attention to the subtle cues others give you when you speak. If you notice people leaning back, lowering their voices, or struggling to get a word in, that's a sign that you might need to adjust your volume. It could be as simple as lowering your voice a little. If you suspect hearing loss, scheduling a hearing test can help you understand the situation better and regain control of your voice. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Another key factor in communication is learning to pause, listen, and let others finish their thoughts before jumping in. When you allow space for others to speak, it not only makes the conversation flow more naturally, but also fosters a deeper connection with the people you're talking to. When you communicate with awareness and confidence, paying attention to the volume of your voice and the rhythm of the conversation, you'll find that people will enjoy talking with you more, not less. It's about creating a balanced, engaging exchange where everyone feels heard and respected. Number 3. Wearing outdated or ill-fitting clothes. One of the easiest things to overlook as we age is our clothing. As time passes, many older adults continue wearing the same outfits year after year. Sometimes because they feel comfortable, other times simply because fashion no longer holds the same priority it once did. But here's the thing. The clothes we wear send a message to the world around us, whether we're aware of it or not. Wearing faded, stretched, or outdated clothes can unintentionally make a person seem older, even if they feel great on the inside. Take someone like Harold Thompson, an 80-year-old man who had always been proud of his impeccable sense of style. Harold had a great eye for fashion in his younger years, but as time went on, he stopped paying much attention to his wardrobe. Instead, he relied on old baggy clothes that had lost their shape and fit. The more he wore them, the less he thought about how they made him look. At first, Harold's family and friends didn't say anything, but they noticed. It wasn't until one day that he decided to make a small change. Harold put on a well-fitted button-up shirt and a new pair of pants, something a little more contemporary. The difference was subtle, but it was huge. People complimented him, and for the first time in a long while, Harold felt a little sharper. He even stood a bit taller. He didn't have to overhaul his entire wardrobe. Just a few small updates made all the difference. The truth is, clothing is a powerful communicator. It impacts how others perceive us. Studies have shown that people associate well-fitted clothing with energy, confidence, and vitality, while baggy, worn-out clothes can give off an impression of carelessness, disengagement, or a lack of attention to oneself. This doesn't mean you need to chase the latest trends, but wearing clothes that are clean, structured, and intentional can do wonders for how you feel and how others see you. So, what can you do? Start small. You don't need to overhaul your entire closet overnight. A few well-chosen pieces, a crisp button-up shirt, pants that fit properly, or a stylish jacket, can instantly breathe new life into your wardrobe. Look for colors that complement your skin tone, and choose fabrics that feel comfortable but still hold their shape. You'll be amazed at how much of a difference it makes. Even simple updates to accessories, like a polished pair of shoes, a nice watch, or a well-chosen belt, can elevate your overall appearance. If you're unsure where to start, consider asking a friend who has a good sense of style, or even a friendly salesperson, to guide you toward options that fit well and make you feel good. The key is not to try and mimic someone else's style, but to find clothing that fits well, looks fresh, and boosts your confidence. When you make those small changes, not only will you look better, but you'll feel better as well. And the best part? Others will notice. When you take pride in your appearance, you send a signal that you value yourself, and that, in turn, encourages others to treat you with respect and admiration. Number 4. Complaining or criticizing too much. One of the quickest ways to unintentionally push people away is through constant complaining or criticizing. It's one of those habits that can creep up on us over time, often without us even realizing the impact it has on our relationships. The problem is, even when we're not trying to be negative, this kind of talk can drain the energy out of a conversation. It can make others feel less eager to spend time with us, especially if they know the conversation will eventually turn into a laundry list of complaints. Imagine someone like Roger Bennett, a 75-year-old man who's always loved sharing his thoughts and opinions. Roger had a sharp mind and loved to talk, often about things he felt frustrated with or didn't like. Over time, though, his family and friends started to engage with him less. They still loved him dearly, but they began to avoid long conversations because they knew they would inevitably be met with a string of complaints. It wasn't until one day when Roger's grandson asked, "Grandpa, do you like anything these days?" that Roger realized how far he had fallen into this pattern. That simple question hit him hard, making him recognize that he had stopped focusing on the positive things in life. The truth is, negative energy is contagious. When we constantly express frustration, even in small doses, it shifts the atmosphere around us. People can feel the heaviness, and more often than not, they'll naturally gravitate toward positivity instead. And that's not to say that everything has to be perfect, or that we need to suppress our emotions. It's about striking a balance, taking the time to express frustrations while also sharing something positive, hopeful, or lighthearted. This keeps conversations enjoyable and prevents them from becoming a one-sided exchange of negativity. So, what can you do? Start by practicing awareness. Take note of how often you bring up complaints or criticisms in your daily conversations. Are you complaining about the weather, your health, or the way things used to be? If you catch yourself, try to shift the focus. Instead of saying something like, "Everything was better in my day," consider saying, "Things were different in my day, but I'm curious how this new way works." This approach allows you to express your thoughts in a way that invites curiosity rather than creating division. When you notice yourself dwelling on what's wrong, make an effort to also highlight something interesting, funny, or uplifting in the situation. People are naturally drawn to those who make them feel good, inspired, and engaged in a meaningful way. The key isn't to suppress your thoughts, but to create a healthy balance between expressing your concerns and showing appreciation for the positives in life. By making these small changes, you can maintain the energy of a conversation and keep those around you engaged, interested, and happy to spend time with you. In the end, focusing on the good and balancing the complaints with positivity will help create deeper, more fulfilling connections with the people who matter most. Number 5. Ignoring posture and body language. One of the most subtle, yet most noticeable signs of aging is how we carry ourselves. Over time, it's easy to slip into habits that don't serve us well. Things like slouching, shuffling our feet when walking, or keeping a closed-off posture. While it may seem harmless, the reality is that people don't just hear what you say, they also read your body language, and posture plays a huge role in how you're perceived. When we slouch, move slowly, or avoid making eye contact, we can unintentionally come across as fragile, disengaged, or lacking confidence, regardless of how we feel inside. Take Anna Williams, an 83-year-old woman who had always been active and lively. Anna had no trouble staying active throughout her life, but over time, she started noticing that people were offering her extra help, even when she didn't need it. Strangers assumed she was weaker than she was, and even her own family began to treat her as though she were fragile. It wasn't that Anna felt weak or needed help, it was simply how she was being perceived. That's when Anna decided to make a conscious effort to change how she carried herself. She started focusing on standing up straighter, walking with more purpose, and maintaining eye contact during conversations. The results were almost immediate. People began treating her differently, more like an equal and less like someone who needed assistance. She felt more empowered, and the way others responded to her shifted as well. The truth is, posture has a profound impact on how we are perceived. Studies have shown that people with strong posture and open body language are not only seen as more confident but also appear younger than those who slouch or cross their arms. This is because confident body language communicates energy and vitality, while poor posture can convey a sense of weakness or disengagement. It's amazing how something as simple as adjusting your posture can make a difference in how approachable and confident you appear. So, what can you do? Start by paying attention to your posture, whether you're sitting, standing, or walking. A simple trick to help you stand taller. Imagine a string pulling you upward from the top of your head. This mental image naturally aligns your spine without feeling forced, helping you maintain an upright position with ease. When you walk, focus on lifting your feet fully off the ground, rather than shuffling. It may seem like a small thing, but it changes how you carry yourself and how people perceive you. And when you're in a conversation, remember that how you carry yourself impacts how people see you, whether they view you as lively and confident or distant and disengaged. With just a few small adjustments, you can instantly seem more present, capable, and approachable, all without saying a word. Number 6. Bad breath or body odor. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. One of the most uncomfortable things to talk about, yet one of the first things people notice, is unpleasant breath or body odor. It's a topic that many of us avoid, but the reality is, these issues can make a significant impact on how others perceive us. The truth is, as we age, our sense of smell tends to weaken, which means we might not notice subtle changes in our scent. Certain medications, dietary habits, and even dehydration can contribute to this issue. But the problem is, most people won't mention it. They'll just keep their distance or find subtle ways to shorten conversations. Let's take Frank Johnson, a 78-year-old man who had always been the life of the party. Frank was the kind of guy who loved to catch up with old friends and share stories. He was outgoing, full of energy, and loved socializing. But one day, he noticed something odd. People weren't standing as close to him as they used to. He couldn't figure out why, but it became clear over time. After a while, Frank realized that he had started feeling a little more self-conscious about his interactions. It wasn't until he made some simple changes that things started improving. Frank began drinking more water throughout the day, and that was when he realized the root cause of the issue. Dehydration was leading to dry mouth, which, in turn, contributed to bad breath. A few small adjustments, staying hydrated, chewing sugar-free gum, and switching to a more effective deodorant, made a huge difference. Before long, people were leaning in for closer interactions again, conversations felt warmer, and Frank regained his confidence. The truth is, dry mouth is one of the biggest causes of bad breath, and it becomes more common as we get older. When the mouth doesn't produce enough saliva, bacteria build up more quickly, leading to lingering odors. Similarly, changes in diet, digestion, and metabolism can cause body odor to shift over time as well. These subtle changes can be difficult to notice ourselves, but others certainly do. And it's not just about oral health. Your body odor is an important factor, too. Even something as simple as wearing the same clothes too many times before washing them can have an impact. So, what can you do to stay on top of it? First, drink plenty of water throughout the day to keep your mouth moist and prevent dry mouth. Chewing sugar-free gum or sucking on mints can also help stimulate saliva production, keeping your breath fresh. Using an alcohol-free mouthwash is another way to freshen your breath without drying out your mouth. For body odor, wearing breathable fabrics, showering regularly, and switching between different deodorants can help keep things fresh. Also, remember to wash clothes, sheets, and even accessories like hats or scarves frequently. It makes a bigger difference than you might think. The key takeaway here is simple. Good hygiene isn't just about feeling clean, it's about how others perceive your presence. Final thoughts. Now that we've explored these 6 subtle but impactful habits, it's time to reflect. The way we present ourselves, how we communicate, and how we manage our daily routines all affect how others see us, whether we realize it or not. The good news is that each of these habits can be easily corrected with small changes. By paying attention to personal grooming, adjusting how we engage in conversations, updating our wardrobe, being mindful of negativity, improving posture, and staying on top of hygiene, we can significantly improve how we feel and how we're perceived. If you've recognized 1 or 2 of these habits in yourself, don't worry, that's completely normal. The key isn't to feel discouraged or defeated, but to feel empowered. Small adjustments can lead to big improvements, and with just a little effort, you can start making the best impression possible. So, what have you learned so far? We've covered some simple yet powerful habits that can truly impact how we age and how we're perceived by others. Whether it's paying more attention to personal grooming, adjusting how we communicate, improving our posture, or staying on top of hygiene, these small changes can make a world of difference in how we feel and how we're seen by those around us. I'd love to hear from you. What's one thing you've learned today that you're going to start practicing in your daily life? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let me know how you plan to make these changes. If you like this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more insightful videos. Your support means a lot, and it helps us keep creating valuable content just for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.